DIY with Chris, giving you the tools to do it yourself.
So the first project that we're going to be doing here today is going to be installing these swing cases. These are the, I forget what brand they actually are, but so it's the Undercover Swing Case for the truck. I got one for each side. They're actually both these same boxes. I purchased them on Amazon. So they did have a couple options available on Amazon for me. There was the new ones, which actually wouldn't ship to Alaska, funny enough, and so I purchased the used versions of these. It's the Amazon verified to make sure that all the parts and pieces are still there, and some of them say that like it was just damage to the box, which you can see here and not a really big deal. But those did ship to Alaska, so that was kind of the reason why we went to that route. And so this video will also help you kind of see, I guess, if Amazon's repacking is as good as the original manufacturer's packing. So we did get two of these. It's one for each side. This has a little picture right here on the top of the box. So we got these, and it just allows you to organize your stuff. Cool things about this particular one, because they do have different types of cases out there, is this is a swing case right there in the title. So you can either have it right up against the edge of the bed and it'll stay stored there. And again, it doesn't extend past your wheel well. It's about the same width there. Another option for that is you are trying to do something back of your truck, or maybe you're trying to tailgate or have some fun. So you can actually swing this out. And on the top, it has some little divots that are cut out so that you can put cups up there. It's not a legit cup holder, but it does help stabilize them if that's what you're trying to do. And also, by them swinging out, gives you better access to your tools, and you can reach in there better and see what's going on. They're really easy to take in and out of the truck. You can completely remove these in seconds. It's not hard at all. So security-wise, that could be a problem. However, they've actually built in some really awesome specs with these to where you can lock the lid, and when it's all the way locked up against the side of your truck, you can install a padlock there. So even if somebody tries to come over and grab it, between that padlock and the locking lid, they're not going to be able to get the stuff that is in your actual case unless they're really trying, and if they are, then there's probably nothing you can do about that anyway. So really cool design. I'm really excited for these because it's just going to add a couple more options in storing for the truck and make it a little bit easier to do some projects in the future. Also, on our drive from Alaska, we're going to go back on the Alcan again. And having those extra tools right there in the back of the truck, easily accessible all the time, is going to be really important to me. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. This is going to be the unboxing portion, and then we'll get to the actual installation after we show you all the components. So opening the box here, looks like the rest of the box is empty. So you have the case, and it's in some plastic. Alright, so get that case and the plastic out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and turn this around. So you can see here that the lid is actually locked currently. I think, yep, you just twist it to the right, it unlocks it. So it does have a tray up top in here. This tray has the installation guide. Pretty easy to do based off of the instructions. You will have to drill into your truck in a few places, and that'll secure it in. It has self-tapping screws, but shouldn't be too hard. And then it does have a user guide warranty, so I'd be sure to keep this actual warranty information. Not sure, it is right here on the back, it says 1 year limited warranty for your Undercover Swing Case. So that's right there in the tray that is right up top. We'll show you the inside of this later after we get it installed. Looks like it's got to go, the tray has to go in there a specific way, there's little notches. And these are the install components. That's all there is to it. So it's just the case, the tray, the paperwork, and then this, which is the install brackets. So not a whole lot to it. Should be a really easy install. It's going to be a whole lot easier with 2 people versus 1 person, as you do want, and here's keys to actually to lock the lid. When you're installing this, it's actually this piece right here. This is your swing piece that you're installing to the truck. You do have to drill this into your truck, so when you're installing this case, you don't actually want it sitting down on the bed, otherwise it's not going to swing out very easy. So you want it sitting up a little bit. So this is probably going to be the hardest part. Probably best done with 2 people, not completely undoable with 1. Still should be fairly easy, but that'll be the most pain in the butt portion of it right there. So as you're seeing, and this is how it stays, is it's just this one little swinging hinge piece. That's it. It just comes on and off just like that. That is all there is to it. So the weight will keep it down for the most part on this hinge, and it shouldn't just, you know, come off or anything. We're going to go ahead and get started on installing this. So we have the basic pieces right here. Before we do this, we need to actually attach this piece, but this is kind of the generalized what it looks like, and especially how to do it just if you're on your own. So you need to do this. I have this piece of MDF that's right here. So this MDF is going to just sit under the box. That's going to put it up just enough, which is, it's only 3/4 of an inch, so that'll put it up enough to where it's not sitting on the bottom, give it clearance over the ridges that are on the bottom of the bed there, and stabilize it so I can actually put it up. So how you kind of actually get it sitting is this comes over here and sits up against this side piece. So I will mark this, try and get it as flat as possible here. So I'll go ahead and rotate this under, but should make it level all the way across. So at this point, what I'm going to do is take a little marker. So the only additional tools that don't come in the kit that I'm using right now is this marker to actually mark this piece. Yeah, it left a little mark there. So I'm just going to mark the one hole. This other one's sitting off a little bit, and I might have to do some further adjustments with just the bracket itself to make sure it's sitting appropriately with the box not here. The first part of installation after we remove those caps is just taking this bracket, and you're going to slide it down just like this. So the orientation should be so that it's when it's up like this on that corner, then the small portion should be there, and it lines right up like it's supposed to. It kind of fits normal. Now I'm going to take that nut, I'm going to hand tighten it as much as I can there to make it easier, and the other one, and then I'll tighten these down. You can go ahead and fully tighten these down right now. We don't have to worry about any future adjustment. After this, we're mainly just going to be bolting them to the truck. Okay, so we have that first one, and we do have this little dot up here, which is where we marked it. So we're going to just place that down nice and neat. And so this is why I was saying I'm not going to mark all of them right now because the bracket wasn't sitting completely flat on it based with the actual toolbox there. So I'm going to make sure the bracket is sitting flat here. Line that up, and then we could do additional lines as needed. Otherwise, right now I'm going to take the drill and I'm going to do a pilot hole. So I'm just doing a small bit. If you have a drill adapter where you can put it right onto the bolts included, so the bolts just have a regular or a head right there. So if you have the adapter, then you can go ahead and just drill that right in. I don't, so I'm going to drill a pilot hole, and then I'll actually just do it by hand and I'll tighten them in. Okay, so there's the first hole. there are self-tapping screws, so you can do it just with the drill if you have the right adapter for it. Otherwise, I'm just doing them by hand like this. So we'll tighten all these by hand. So as of right now, we've got this top one, we've got this one down here, these two here, and then the last two are going to be these two over here on this side. So we'll go ahead and drill the holes and actually put the bolts in for all of these. And that's really it for that portion. As soon as those are done, then we can go ahead and slide this on and test it out. Alright, so we just put all of them in. Again, there's the 6 self-tapping bolts or screws that we had to put in these holes, and it's just those ones right there. I did have to do the pilot holes because I don't have the attachment for the drill, and then I had to just use my ratchet to hand tighten them down until they were in place. So a couple notes that we need to have on this, just that you are aware. This bracket does not sit completely flat down on my truck, as it is, like, especially when I do this first bolt and the second bolt, it does not sit down against the actual metal, against the rest of the truck, and from back here either. I have to push it down in order to get it to sit there, and then I had to mark the pieces in place there and drill the holes. So does not sit flat on my truck, and I've got it in the best position that I can right here. Like, I tried to maneuver it the best I could to try and keep it as flat as possible, but does not sit flat. So with that in mind though, let's go ahead, and it is installed already. Really wasn't that hard. It only took a few minutes here. So all we got to do now is just lift this up and put it on the swing hinges. So just place it, drop it down on the hinges. All right, and then it swings out. The only reason it stopped swinging on my truck is because there's the cable that's there. So I don't think it can go a full 180 degrees out, but it should be able to get pretty close, especially if the cable wasn't there. So I'm going to swing it back in, and you just swing it hard enough, it'll lock into place. So you heard it lock. So it's actually in there, and it is actually really solid. I was fairly surprised at how solid it is in place there. So yeah, it's locked in, can't move it off or anything. I can still open the lid, but the lid does lock. The only thing you got to do is just take this yellow and pull it outwards towards me, and it'll unlock it. And then you can swing it out, and again, you can just pop it right off, and that's as simple as it is. So security concerns. If I have this on, even if I have a padlock in there, and even if you do undo those bolts, you still can't get to the bolt that's back there very easy. This one is going to be harder to get to, and you can't get to the bolts that are back here unless you are really trying, and at that point pretty much none of the efforts that we take are going to stop that. So it is fairly secure, even though it comes off so easy. Just put a padlock right through there and you'll be good to go. So that's our first one installed. We're going to go ahead and do it on the other side. Another note that we had is on some of the videos that I've watched for this, especially for the project itself and whatnot, it didn't look like it stuck out as far past the wheel wells as it does here. It looks like it's at least a good 2 to 3 inches out past the edge of the wheel well, which makes me a little bit sad there. But overall, still very happy with this case. Very solid, very rugged and durable as far as I can tell. I actually do have a crack already on this lid. Not a big concern for me right now, really. I plan on using this quite a bit, so really not that big of a concern for me as long as the functionality still works. So overall, pretty well. The only thing that I don't like about it is it does stick out a little bit further past the wheel wells than we did anticipate. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let us know. Hit subscribe so you can see any other videos that we post. Greatly appreciate it. And have a great day.
DIY with Chris, giving you the tools to do it yourself.
DIY with Chris,
giving you the tools to do it yourself.